Ego is extremely important. It's either a superpower or it's your detriment. If you have an ego that you work hard to justify, then it is a superpower. If you're egotistical and say, I deserve the best possible version of humanity and I want people to respect me, so I'm going to live a life and do things that make it impossible to disrespect me. I'm going to get in the cage and I'm going to win all my fights and I'm going to work hard and drive the best car and I have a nice big apartment and I'm going to have important friends that allow me to do very important things and I'm going to live a life of freedom because I believe I deserve that. That is a healthy ego which can help any man on earth. If you have an ego without those justifications, an ego you don't want to justify or have never justified and believe you're just special just because you have YouTube followers or you have a big mouth.
That's toxic masculinity.
Absolutely.
That's truly toxic.
When I see these men and they have a few million followers on YouTube and they think they're something, but really, truthfully, if you walk past them on the street, they ain't shit. They're toxically masculine. They have egos for very little reason but a number on a screen. They haven't done anything that's truly impressive. Or less. They haven't done anything that's truly impressive. They haven't been out there and genuinely shown bravery. They can't sit in a room with me and impress me in nearly any way. They, when push comes to shove, would fail against other men basically permanently. That is toxic masculinity. So an ego that you work hard to justify is a superpower. An ego which is unjustified is going to hold you back. So you have to be very careful.
Ego.
You have to earn it. You have to wake up and say, you know what? I am the man. I'm going to show everyone. And then how do you show everybody you're the man? You make the brave choice. What did I say earlier about bravery? How it radiates on you, how it can be seen in your eyes. That is how you have an ego which is helpful to your life. And that's how you have an ego which actually genuinely exudes confidence as opposed to exuding insecurity. And I've said this in many different podcasts, that men need to build themselves in every aspect to get women. When I talk about every aspect, everyone understands money and finance and being strong. And we talked about charisma. That's important. You also need to be likable. I don't know if many people have noticed that a lot of the people who are attacking women and insulting women and arguing with women, especially on the internet, aren't particularly likable
at all.
When I sit with women on Watch My Pearl podcast or Watch My Fresh and Fits, I say important things, but the women love me. They're laughing. They're joking. They're touching my arm. They all want to hang around with me. Afterwards, they're asking me to go party. They all ask for my phone number. I say the same things in a likable way. You also need to work on being likable. And that doesn't mean being a bitch. Doesn't mean being a cuck. It means doing the things we were saying earlier about exuding honor and bravery, etc. But being likable is a superpower. You need to work on yourself in all realms. Yes, your physical capability. Yes, your financial resource. Yes, your network. Yes, you need to have stories. You need to be charismatic. But you need to be likable as a person. I don't see many people on the internet right now who are men teaching men how to be men who are actually likable. I see a bunch of bitches complaining.
Want to be tough guys.
Want to be tough guys. Big mouth without reason. Whole bunch of dudes just fucking complaining all day about women, screaming at a microphone, acting like clowns, acting like children. They're not likable people. You need to be likable in the real world outside of the internet, and that is extremely important. Another thing people say is that women are emotional and men are logical, and this is true. I'm an exceptionally logical person, but you need to get through to people. You reach people through emotionality. When I talk, people feel motivated. The number of times people have said, if I listen to your podcast, I end up doing push-ups. We talk about you need to prioritize logic over emotions. Yes, as a man, you must be a logical person, and women are traditionally emotionally led. But you need to be able to inspire emotions in people. People say to me all the time, I listen to one of your podcasts, I end up feeling motivated, my blood's on fire, and I want to do push-ups. No matter what I talk about, right now we're talking about masculinity. In our next podcast, we might talk about conspiracy theories. It doesn't matter what I talk about, but the way I deliver evokes an emotional response. If I can evoke an emotional response in men, imagine how I can evoke an emotional response in a female. Because she's an emotional creature. You think I can't make a woman feel excited? You can't think I make her want to come and see me or want to spend time with me? That's very important. Yes, you must be ultimately logical, but humans are all emotional, male and female, and you cannot exclude the emotional side of your delivery and the emotional side of your capability and your humanity. This is why a lot of men act like cavemen and destroy their kindness because they're scared to show emotionality because they're insecure and they're weak. But if you lose that emotional edge, if you lose the edge of the ability to be emotional or make people feel emotions, then you're always going to be a two-dimensional character. And that's very important. You can't do it. You lack emotionality if you're all about logic, and that means you lack genuine depth as a person. You need some depth as a person. So don't be afraid of your emotions, but control them, use them in the right way, learn how to make them benefit you, learn how to turn the right emotion on at the right time, choose the one you need for the current situation. Me and you can jump around and be happy and have fun and party. And we can also be extremely serious, and we can decide in real time. Emotions are extremely important. I don't like that a lot of men are out here saying, don't feel emotions. No, feel emotions, be stoic, control them, master them. But you're a human. And as a human, you need to have some degree of emotionality about you, and women will respect you if you have a range of emotions that they can detect, that they know are used in the right way, at the right capability that you can control, that allow you to be the most competitive version of yourself. Don't forget about emotionality as a whole. Women are not interested in chasing down these careers in woke corp. In many ways, it is an act of desperation because there are no men out here which provide the safety net they feel they need that allows them to be comfortable to put their life in your hands. If a woman has your child, she is putting her life in your hands. You have children, I have children. Every woman who decided to have our children knew that her life was in our hands. Have we ever disappointed?
Never.
Have we ever disappointed from a Romanian jail cell?
Nope.
Never. The rent was paid. The jet they wanted was on the runway. They have been taken care of head to toe. When they were sad, they could call us. Spiritually taken care of, financially taken care of, emotionally taken care of, head to toe. That is our job as men. And for that reason, they felt secure in the idea of having our children. They're not interested in going to school and chasing a career, etc., because they found a man they know they can trust with their lives. Having a man's child is giving up your life for that man. As a woman, as a man, we can see the child go away to war, come back. As a woman, that is your life. I think it's crazy. I see all these podcasts and men are constantly complaining that women just want to go to school and just want to have careers. That's because men are failing them.
Men are failing.
That's the reason why. And as men who have absolute not self-accountability, what can we affect? What can we change in society to make sure that women look at the world in a different way? Ourselves. If you genuinely believe that the nuclear family is going to fix the world, you genuinely believe that women should be having children younger, and you genuinely believe that women should be looking to get married and not be promiscuous, the way you do that is to increase your
value
as a man. And men as a whole, if we all did that, society would reflect it. So again, I think it's crazy when I see men constantly complaining about women who want an education and want a job, because if they didn't do that, they have to sell themselves to a sub-tier male. Would you sell yourself as a female to a sub-tier male?
Would you put all of your eggs in that one basket? The basket of you? Can you hold them without dropping?
Another thing that's really important, I want to talk about it, is that men need to have respect for women's emotional needs. Because we talk about provide and protect for them, but women are emotional creatures, and sometimes they're going to get upset.
Yeah, providing is more than just financial.
Sometimes they're going to cry. Sometimes they're going to be illogical. Sometimes they're going to be sad. Sometimes they're going to call you and they're going to give you a headache. And you need to be man enough to deal with that and make her feel better. And you need to be stoic enough to not get annoyed by it and just be the rock she wants. The difference between men and women is if I call Tristan with a problem, we start talking about the solution. If a woman calls you with a problem, they don't often want to talk about the solution. They want to complain about the problem first.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it. So let them complain. Don't get upset about it. Don't scream about it. Don't cry about it. You need to be stoic enough, even though you're busy dealing with your entire empire and you have so much going on. And you don't understand why she's calling you over some tiny little issue. You need to be a man enough to make her feel emotionally secure. Women's emotionality cannot be ignored, because I'll tell you something was really interesting about men. We're super hypocritical. We complain when a woman acts crazy, right? But as soon as she doesn't care anymore, we're messaging her, why don't you care? Why don't you love me? Then we want her to be crazy again.
Talking shit to your friends like, oh, she's got borderline personality disorder. No, you're just a loser.
Completely. So women are going to be crazy when they love you. And as soon as they don't love you, they're going to stop being crazy completely. And then you're going to wonder why she doesn't give a shit at all. So you're going to have to be able to provide a degree of emotional security and emotional safety net. And you do that being stoic enough to understand her moods and deal with her emotional needs without fighting with her all of the time. You don't have to take it so personally. So these are some overviews on how a genuine man acts. I hope a lot of you have been taking notes.